Spoiler alert, I did not pass my class for the month. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and hi, if you're new here, my name is Nara. I am a full-time assistant editor of social media and marketing, as well as a full-time business management student. And you heard that correctly, I did not pass my class for January. Now hold up, before we get into it, there's something we have to do first. It's time for the quote of the month. So this is just something that I like to do for all of my check-in videos to sort of set the intention for the month going forward. Just a little affirmation, mindfulness thing to keep in mind for the month. Last time we did this, which was admittedly a few months ago, it was, I am so grateful to be alive, healthy, and thriving. I'm pretty sure this was for November, and then I stopped posting videos for a couple of months. Oopsie. But we're back and we're gonna do a new one. So without further ado, our new quote of the month is going to be, "Every day I experience the joy of receiving and giving abundance." I think this is a lovely sentiment, and we're gonna let it live right next to my many Anya Folger figurines from Spy Family. Do I have a problem? Absolutely not. Okay, but seriously, you can't tell me that's like not the cutest thing you've ever seen. She's so tiny and adorable. The quote and the Anyas aside, I have to admit it has been a hot minute since I've done a proper check-in video for school. For those of you who don't know, I go to WGU. It is a fully remote, at your own pace college, like fully accredited university. It's just, there are no actual classes. It's just you're given the coursework and you go at your own pace. And as someone who is also working full-time in entertainment and very busy just because life is busy and trying to be an adult, it has been godsend for me in this journey of finally getting a bachelor's degree. But I'll admit it has been a hot minute since I've done a proper check-in video. I think the last time I posted about school specifically was maybe in like November. And I think back then I was procrastinating one of my like core classes. So when you go to WGU, your semesters are 6 months long and you are required to take a minimum of 4 classes in that 6-month period. And I had completed 3 of said classes in 2 months, which was great. But then I procrastinated for like another month and a half to 2 months. So I didn't finish that until late December, beginning of January. Since finishing that class, my January class, because I aim to do 1 class a month, was Introduction to Business Accounting, which I have yet to finish. As of recording, it is currently February, but I have good reason this time. I have legitimate reason why I didn't finish the class. And that is because I was pretty much done with the coursework. I had my exam scheduled for the 31st of January. And of course, the day before my test, I had a POTS flare-up. And for those of you who don't know what POTS is, it's basically a symptom syndrome that can range from anything from lightheadedness, really bad vertigo, nausea, fainting, tremors, like cold sweats. It's not fun and I don't recommend it. I was diagnosed, I think 2 years ago now, or coming up on 2 years. And I am pretty well regulated and I haven't had an episode in quite a while, but I just randomly had one the day before my test and I had to like leave work early. And it was such a bad episode that I had to sort of cancel all my weekend plans to allow myself to rest properly. Because when I have a flare-up, knowing me and like just knowing my body, I know that that means I have to sort of reset and take care of myself. So I have to make sure I'm eating the proper meals and eating not too much, but enough food and eating them, at appropriate times, sleeping well, getting enough physical activity, but nothing like too overexerting. So it's a lot of self-care that goes into post flare-up care. And because of that, my exam was supposed to be the next morning, like bright and early. And I figured after losing so much energy to that POTS flare-up, I figured it would be better if I just rescheduled my test. So I missed it. I just skipped it altogether. And that following Monday, I believe, I messaged my advisor to let her know what happened, that I was not feeling well that weekend and that I missed the test, but I was planning on retaking it because I'm currently in my second term for WGU, and it ends at the end of February, and then the rollover for the next term starts in March. So I really do need to have this class done by the end of the month I'm filming this in February, as well as the other class, which I have registered for, because I registered for 6 classes to help me get along with my graduation faster. My goal is to be done in a year from now. So we're trying. So I messaged her about it, and she said it wasn't a problem and that I was free to reschedule, whenever I had the availability before the end of the term. However, apparently, as of recording, WGU is having issues with the testing proctor assessment center. So when you do actual exams, because some classes are exams and other classes are assignment based, like you have to write a paper or you have to record yourself like giving a speech or doing some sort of case study. This class, the accounting class, is an exam-based class. So you have to take a proctored exam, but the assessment center was down, and as far as I'm aware, I don't think anyone's been able to schedule their test, or if they have, they're lucky, because I'm able to press schedule assessment and it like launches me to the proctor page, but then there's no exam for me to sign up for. Like, it just says I have no like pending exams at all. So that's annoying. So TBD on when and if I can even like finish that class this term. I'm hoping so, because I would hate to have to carry that over to the next term if I can just have it done now. But to be fair, I've already done all the coursework. I think there's like one more thing in the textbook that I have to do, but I've got all the information now down, and now I just have to review a bunch. But despite the hiccups that we are having currently, I will say over the last month, I have thoroughly enjoyed this accounting class. I always joked with myself when I was first deciding to get a bachelor's finally. I was unemployed at the time, and I had been working in the entertainment YouTuber space for a couple of years, and I had been doing video production since I was a teenager, whether it would be in my free time or for like paid gigs here and there. And I was sort of at this crossroads where I wasn't finding work and I didn't have a bachelor's, which is why I signed up for business school, because I wanted something different from what I was trying to do, because I was like, okay, if my career doesn't pan out anywhere, I need something to fall back on, or at the very least, I need whatever I study to supplement the current career that I'm in. And I sort of had this running gag going on when people would ask me like what my plan for the degree was. And I would always joke, maybe I'll just become an accountant, because I did not mean it at all. I didn't think accounting was even remotely interesting, and I would have no reason to like it. I was not the best at math in high school. Science was like my worst subject. Math I was great at until I got to Algebra 1, and then I just fell off. Trigonometry, over my head. I didn't even attempt to take calculus or physics. Like, that was not my jive. But I have to admit, this accounting class I'm in, because I haven't finished it yet, so interesting. And the best way to describe it, it's like solving a murder mystery, but with numbers and finances. Like, you're detecting fraud. Like, I didn't realize what accounting was. When I heard accounting, I thought, oh, like taxes. And I can do my taxes. I've done them myself for the last couple of years, and I hate it. It's very boring and it's not my jive. But the way this class is structured, I was worried at first, because normally when I approach a course, if there's videos, I opt in to watch the videos or listen to like lectures over reading a textbook. It's just, I learn better that way. I will read the textbook if I don't really understand a concept, but it saves me time. I've found it to be useful for me. And when I signed up for this class, I was checking Reddit forums and the other like student forums on the school's website, and everyone was complaining because they were like, there are no lecture videos for this class. Like, you have to read the textbook. And I was terrified and very annoyed, because at this point, I had pretty much exclusively been watching lecture videos and taking notes that way. And so I was just worried that I was really going to struggle. And obviously, when I took the pre-assessment, I don't know anything about accounting practices, laws, theories, nothing. And so I failed the practice test. And then I learned that there's no lecture videos. And so I opened the textbook begrudgingly. And to my enjoyment, I find out that this isn't a normal textbook. It is a self-guided detective story where you are an external auditor and there's a bakery that they're trying to figure out why their numbers aren't lining up for like that year's like financial records or whatever. And you're essentially trying to figure out why the numbers don't make sense and if there's potentially fraud happening. And when I saw this, my little like Agatha Christie Scooby-Doo brain just lit up with pure joy. And I've never been so excited to look at a budget spreadsheet. I mean, I love a good spreadsheet. I love to make a budget, but like I thought I was gonna be bored out of my mind in this class. And it was actually the best class I've taken so far. And granted, I'm sure this isn't for everybody. I'm just a crazy girl who loves a murder mystery. I literally just finished reading a murder mystery book this morning. That was before I had to do schoolwork, that was my fun little activity. It was like, I'm gonna read the last 5 chapters of this murder mystery book. And it was delightful and I loved it. And I saw the ending from a mile away. I love murder mystery. I love whodunit. I love solving puzzles and crime, you know? So this was my cup of tea. This was like, oh, it was wonderful. I loved every second of it. And the way I clocked what was happening so fast to the point where I was like, I don't even need to look at these numbers, these spreadsheets, these quarterly reviews. I know what happened. I know how it happened. You know, obviously I had to look at the coursework to be able to prove how I knew it, but I caught on so fast. I saw that ending from a mile away. This is my shit. This is my shit. So yeah, I loved this class. Way more than I thought I would. I thought I would maybe learn something interesting, but no, I learned a lot, and I got to solve a potential crime. I'm not gonna say whether or not there was crime committed because that's for you to discover if you also take this class. Loved that shit. And there was like whole acted out scenes. They had actors, they had sets, they had real life accountants coming in and like giving you clues. This was a full on production, and kudos to the team. As someone who works in entertainment, in YouTube, I have worked with some of the like largest YouTubers in the world. Kudos. That production ate Boots House down. It was lovely and I loved every second of it. And the case study that was embedded into the textbook as it was going, even when I would get to the parts that like weren't videos or weren't these like reenacted scenes to help you better understand what was going on within this like fake company, even the parts that were just the textbook, like, and you're just reading straight up information about accounting, the case study was so fun that it made me want to read the textbook because I was like, oh wow, I want to understand how I can get from like point A to point B in the case study. Like I want to understand how these theories work and how to do the math. So that way when I'm investigating, I can fully confidently understand how to prove why I think what is happening, like prove that I'm right, essentially. I cannot talk about how much I love this class enough. It was so fun. And like, this is how I want to learn. I'm learning, but there's a puzzle. Make me feel challenged. I feel like a lot of class, because this is not my first university or college. This is my 3rd time attending higher education. The first being a in-person university, the second being a community college, and now this online university. And I have taken so many classes. I've taken a lot of college courses, and so many times have I been in a class where it should have been an easy A. It should have taken me 0 effort at all, but I was so bored that I struggled to put in the effort and the energy to do well in a class. Because it's like all of the work feels like busy work. Everything I'm learning feels redundant. It feels like something that I learned in high school, or it feels like something that I learned in another class like twice already. And there's nothing I hate more than a class where it's like, not only am I like barely learning anything, but like the coursework is like, literally, what's the point? I had a class at one point where my only assignment was to fill out a table with 3 boxes, or no, a table with like 7 boxes. And all I had to put in the boxes were like names of departments that exist in a company. That was it. I didn't have to write any sort of explanation. It was literally just that. Did it take me 30 minutes? Yeah. Did I hate every second of it? Yes. It was so boring. But this class, like, I was taking my computer to work and like studying and watching the case study videos like during my lunch break. I would get to work early so I could read for 5 minutes. Like this was like my tee hee ha ha thing. It really felt like a hobby. Like I felt like I was having fun. And I've never had that much fun in a class in a while. So I loved it. If you've taken this class and you didn't love it, I would love to hear why. But I thought it was really interesting. And if you have to take this class eventually, if you're also a business major at WGU or whatever major requires you to take the intro to accounting class, I hope you have just as much fun as I did because I was eating every second of it. And the actors, they were acting. Kudos. Bravo. Best class I've taken so far. It's all downhill from here. Probably, I don't know, we'll see. I was just so invested and it just made me love learning and it made me very excited. I do need to take the practice test again. I have not taken it since the first time, and now that I've done all the coursework, I want to make sure that I can take the practice test and that I'm not only doing well in the case study aspect, but that I actually learned the theories that you're supposed to learn during the case study and that I can apply them to the exam that I have to take. But I still don't have a date because my thing's still broken. I did contact student services, and so it should be fixed by the time you guys even see this video, but it's not fixed right now. And so I'm stressing a little bit, just like a smidgen, just like a little tiny bit, because I would just like to have it done by the end of February so I don't have to spend time taking that exam next semester and I can put my focus onto the other classes I need to finish. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. Heathers, anyone? Heathers. So in the meantime, while I wait for that to be sorted, I have gone ahead and I've started taking my class for February, which is what I'm currently doing. And I'm sure by the time you see this, I will probably either be done with it or close to done with it. Right now I'm taking talent acquisition and I've started my first assignment there. And so far, so good. I'll tell you guys more about it in the February recap video, which will be next month, obviously. Overall, I think it's just been like a really good month, not only just with school and being in a class that I genuinely enjoyed, but also there was a lot of really fun big events for me in January. January is always a very busy time of year. One of my best friend's birthdays is at the very beginning of the year. So went to like her birthday party. Then like a couple days after that is my anniversary with my partner. So we got to celebrate by going out to dinner together. And then my birthday is also in January. So as of now, I am officially 25 years old. Fully cooked, fully developed brain. I feel great. It was a great birthday. I went to afternoon tea in Koreatown with my partner on my birthday. And then on a separate day, I went to karaoke and KBBQ with all of my friends. And it was just like a fun like weekend off that I got to like celebrate myself and I got to have fun and, you know, splurge a little bit on some experiences. Nothing crazy. Things I budgeted for. I'm nothing if not a budgeter, but it was great. It was lovely. And being able to sort of balance that with my school and work, it always feels really great when I'm able to do that stuff. It's difficult for sure. I am a very busy girl, but I think it really comes down to just like sitting yourself down and getting over the barrier to start something. But once you've started, it kind of just like goes from there. And that's just something that I've had to sort of relearn and reteach myself forever, is just when things feel like they're too hard, just to get one manageable task at a time. And then next thing you know, like you'll be exactly where you wanted to be. Even with cleaning, I struggle with keeping my apartment clean. I'm looking around right now and I'm like, oh my God, there are things out of place. But I also am like, I did spend the entire day yesterday cleaning everything. And the only things that are a mess is like the laundry that I didn't put up yet. It's not as bad as you think it is. If you look at the big picture, you know, if I look at my degree right now, I'm like, oh my God, I'm only 55% done. I have 45% left. But if you kind of just like go down a few levels and you're like, okay, well, I've finished all my required courses for the semester. So everything else I've done is just supplementary, and it's allowing me to not do as much work next semester and the semester after that. And hopefully that is the last semester I have to take anything. It's all about perception. It's you know, you just kind of, you have to sometimes put like the blinders up so you can just focus on the task in front of you and not think too much about like my whole apartment's a mess. Okay, well, what if I wash like 2 dishes right now? There'll be no dishes in the sink. The sink will be clean. Okay, and then it's like next time I can be like clear off my kitchen table, and then I can clear off the laundry off of my couch. Just little bite-sized steps. But yeah, overall, I would say I'm pretty content with where I'm at academically, professionally, just like in my personal life. I feel like this last month I've done a very good job of like balancing those things, and I look forward to going over February with you guys, which will also be the end of my second semester. So we can go over my course tracker. I can show you guys like what my degree planner looks like then, because it'll be, you know, another benchmark in my progress. Speaking of, I've only ever done one video before this where I even showed my progress like on my student portal. And funnily enough, that video, I think it's called something about like my first semester of online college, where I showed my course tracker and I showed how many credits had transferred and like how many credits I had accomplished in my first semester. And I think when I first posted that video, it was like stuck at under 100 views for the longest time. And then randomly in January, it like blew up. And my most viewed video at that point was 1.1 thousand or 1.2 thousand views on my I Quit Van Life in under 2 months, which if you don't know, I used to do van life. I've lived many colorful lives, okay? I'm nothing if not entertaining. But yeah, that was like my most viewed video for the longest time. And then all of a sudden, this random video of me sitting in my kitchen with like just talking about my degree progress, which I thought wasn't that interesting, but I wanted to document it for my own sake. So when I graduate, I could look at it later and be like, oh my God, memories. It blew up. And I checked it yesterday. It was at 1.7 thousand views. And I was like, this video? Are we watching the same video? It really do be the videos you least expect are the ones that resonate with people. So thank you guys. That's awesome. Like, I'm just so flabbergasted because there's other videos I have that I'm like, oh, I put like so much energy into them. And I think like that's gonna be my top performer. But then a video that I filmed in like less than an hour, it took me maybe a day to edit, like outperformed all of those. And I think that's very funny. And again, very much appreciate you. I love you guys. But yeah, it's just like even on YouTube, I've been having such growth. I think I just hit like 210 subscribers. So like we've doubled from last year. And I think when I looked at my numbers, like since January 1st, I've gained like 26 subscribers. So it's just really cool. Like seeing, you know, my fun little hobby that I do, seeing people connect with it and wanting to know more about what I do and like my, you know, my journey with going to school and working full time. Cause I feel like that's something I don't see people talk about very often, doing college unconventionally. I mean, I've seen people talk about it, but I haven't come across a lot of people like on this platform documenting this sort of like failure, if you want to call it that. Because for me, like in high school, I went to a prep school and it was very much drilled into my brain. Like you do the 4-year plan, you go to college and you get a job. And like, I didn't do that. I dropped out of university. Then I went to community college, which for the high school I went to was seen as like, people were like, that's beneath us. And I was just like, hey, I just got to get a degree. I don't care. And it was also like basically free because community college, spoiler alert, is great. Highly recommend it. Yeah, and I did that, and then I like did van life for a while, and then I moved to go work at Mr. Beast, and then I moved to LA, and then I like didn't have a job, and now I have a job again, and now I'm in school again, and it's like I feel like I have lived more life in the 4 years I was supposed to be in college than a lot of my peers have. I've just been all over the place. And so I think it's cool to sort of document the zaniness that is like my life and the fact that it all circles back around and I am back in school trying to get a bachelor's, but I already have a career and this is just to supplement my career. Just also for the pride for me to be like, I have a bachelor's degree. I am university college educated because that is very important to me. I like seeing all these different versions of myself and just how much I've grown and changed over the years. And that's the real reason why I like to do these videos. And so if you guys resonate with that too, like that makes it more fun for me because I see your comments on the things I post, and I see people talk about how I gave them the motivation to finally apply for college again after not going the first time or dropping out or whatever. Or I see other people that are like, oh my God, like I was thinking about going to this school, but I couldn't find any info on it from just regular people outside of the school website. And people were very appreciative of the in-depth conversation I have about being an online student and working, and it helps them feel more confident about doing it themselves. And if I'm able to do that for people, that makes me very happy. So truly thank you to everyone who subscribes and watches these videos, which, by the way, if you're not, hello, what are you doing? Subscribe right now, like this video, comment, do your thing. I really truly feel as if this year is going to be a very monumental year for me. I feel the feeling in my bones that there's going to be a lot of good change coming my way and a lot of growth. And that's, all I could ever ask for is to just be better than I was yesterday. All that to say, I really am so grateful to everyone that interacts with my content, whether you're, you just are a passerby or you're a subscriber, you comment or like or leave me any feedback. I really do appreciate it. I like this sense of community, and I like knowing that when I have things to say that there's someone out there that takes what I say and it helps them in some way. So thank you. I really appreciate that. But anyways, I think that's it for this video. I will see you guys in 2 weeks if I post this on the correct day. I will see you in 2 weeks with the next one. Just a reminder that the schedule going forward is 2 videos a month, if you didn't hear my last update about it. So the first Monday of every month, you are going to get a personality vlog of some kind, whether that would be me traveling, me talking about whatever I want to talk about. Just it's basically my one-way ticket to being creative once a month. And then the third Monday of every month is going to be videos like this, where I sit down and I talk about my thoughts on the previous month of school, assuming that I complete a course a month or more. So that's kind of how we're going about this. So if you guys have any questions for me about my thoughts and opinions on this class that I just took, or online college in general, working and going to school, or this specific university, feel free to leave me a comment down below. If you've also taken this class before and you want to share your opinions about this class, I'd love to hear from you. Or just anyone who, wants to say hi, you can say hi. Anyways, like I said, that's it for this video. Make sure to subscribe, like, do all the things, and I will see you next time. Love you the most. Bye.